All right. Good morning. It's Monday morning, January 15th. And boy, does it feel like January, don't it? Yeah, don't call me a donut. All right. This will be a quick live feed. I'm expecting a call. And I've got it's going to be an interesting day. So because of the cold temperatures and our cars stay outside for the last several days, I've had to get out and start the cars up every 6 to 8 hours, or else they don't start. So we got snowed in a little bit yesterday. Not deep snow, not like Michigan lake effect, but enough that they couldn't treat the roads because of the temperature. So let's get rid of this windshield here. But it's going to be a quick live feed. It's going to be an interesting day for me. It's going to be an interesting week for me. So I've got a new truck I'm dispatching, which, and let me share something to you right here. Let me share the screen here. I went into default mode and sent him south, getting him out of Michigan before all the storms hit up there. But then take a look at all this. If you're just listening from basically South Texas all the way up to basically the tip, like New York City, all along there you have winter storm warnings, watches, advisories, and wind chill warnings. We got wind chill warnings up here. I saw in the news today there was wind chills as high as 59 degrees below zero up in North Dakota. And for once, the West isn't too well, except for Colorado and Utah. They're both screwed up too. So, but yeah, we're dealing with wind chill warnings, and yeah. So when you have winter storm warnings that go through like Virginia, Tennessee, a little bit of Kentucky, Mississippi, all of Arkansas is covered pretty much. Yeah, there's just really no good direction to go. So we'll probably have to deal with that. Because I try my best to not send a truck into bad weather. Now, the guy's from Denver, so he's probably not afraid of snow, but I would rather be in a snowstorm in, say, I don't know, Colorado than I would be in Arkansas. So been there, done that. So anyways, so just be careful out there. Treat your fuel. These southern states, they don't treat their fuel as good as the northern states. So you got to really kind of pay attention to that, or else you're going to have gelled up fuel. So this biofuel it sucks. So, but good morning. I hope all is well. Hope you stayed warm. Hope you stayed profitable, or both. It's now chilly enough in the house, and I'm wearing a hoodie at all time, and I keep my coffee in the mug versus just a regular coffee cup because it goes cold pretty quickly. Yesterday we ventured out. For the first time in like 2 or 3 days, and it was pretty slick. So, when it gets this cold, we're in the negative temperatures right now, and the wind chill, I think they're forecasting like negative 20 tonight. So when you deal with those kind of temperatures, man, the road treatments don't work as well. So it's just kind of a slow going process. But luckily I have nowhere to go. I think there might be some doctor appointments coming up this week, but we'll see. I want to mention an article. This will not be a long live feed because number one, I'm not in the mood. No, I'm just kidding. But number two, I've got a truck to concentrate on, and so. Anyways, all right, let's go. Mark P, what's up? good morning. Day off, Martin Luther King Day. That's a great reminder that your settlements will not hit your bank account today. They will hit it tomorrow if you're waiting on settlements. You're not going to be able to cash checks, and hopefully I can get a broker to answer a dang phone today, but I doubt it. I think last Martin Luther King Day I was quite surprised. And I think it's one of those things where if capacity is in our favor, yeah, they're working because they need trucks. But when it's not in their favor, they'll take the day off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it will be an easy day of booking. So Jose, good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Jose is the only one who's not cold in this chat. Trucker named Tim, good morning. Good morning. Good frosty morning. My snowman came inside because it's being so cold outside. Yeah, I got to go out and start all the vehicles up, let them run a little bit, and I'm not looking forward to it. Mr. Charles says, cold is an understatement. The truck stop didn't have coffee because their water froze. Yeah, we've been leaving the water on pretty decently, so knock on wood. We'll be all right. Tolga, good morning. Good morning from Panama City, Florida. Randy's also not cold. Good morning, Mr. Steve, says CDN. Still frigid cold here near Edmonton, Alberta. We had an emergency alert Saturday night that our electric grid was on the verge of running out. Wow, Alberton sat in the dark to save power. That's crazy. That would be scary to be in those negative temperatures like you've been in and then not have power. Like think of an EMP if it happened right now. How many people would die just from all of that? Man, that's crazy. Ryan Peterson, did you see the Facebook reefers are going for sale? No, I did not. I've minimized my Facebook. Like I'm not completely off of it. You know, usually I do these and it's usually this time of year I do 30-day fasts from Facebook. But I have not done that. But I have calmed it down because there was a couple of informational questions I had on my personal Facebook page about recording equipment and I've been kind of keeping up with the weather and what people are dealing with inside and outside of town. But I did not see about reefers going for sale. How much are they going for sale? Look up Yag International temperature in a minute. I'm in Swedesboro, New Jersey, getting unloaded. It's about 29 degrees, but the snow is on its way. Yes, as you can see. There you go. Chief Freight Hauler, hope no one here is in or headed to Nashville. According to Google Maps and what I'm seeing online, Nashville and all roads leading are a mess. Yes, that is what I got to deal with. I got to keep my plan is either to go deeper into Florida and then we'll take our hit coming out, and by that time all that will pass, or keeping them on I-10 here. Even though there's a winter weather advisory, it won't stick as much because it's not as cold. So we'll see. And then I'll just ask the driver, what do you want to do? So, but Nashville, I'd rather be in Chicago than Nashville during a snowstorm. Philly, it's mid-20s, winter weather advisory. Yep, we were definitely in there. Freaking snow and ice stuck in the lot, jackknifed all over the roads. Yes, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I do know what's going on, but I can't say it out loud. But the amount of trucks that we're seeing jackknifed on the road and in the medians that you're seeing on the news, in your social media, on the YouTubes, it is getting worse and worse. And it's, I think part of it's that, that's a whole different topic for a whole different day of why I think that's happening. But man, if Shannon called me, I think it was Friday. And I'm gonna make fun of her for a little bit. She called me, and the first words out of her mouth was, "I'm off the road." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I'm at this Petro." I'm like, "Oh, are you actually off the road?" "No, I'm shut down. I'm at the Petro, and I forget where, somewhere in Ohio." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank God you're parked. So why are you freaking out? You're okay." And and the and she did good, but so we were looking at. I showed her how to look at Google Maps and look at the traffic speed. Look at the, if it's green, yellow, red, orange, whatever. And as time progressed, man, the roads were like, she literally got off the road at the exact perfect time before everybody else figured it out. She got a good parking spot, and it just, she did it perfectly. So you got to pay attention. I told her, and I'll tell everybody else, and this was told to me by a friend of mine, and the math checks out. If you can't average more than 45 miles an hour, if the weather does not allow you to drive an average of 45 miles an hour, then it's time to shut down. Now, I'm not saying go above 45 in a snowstorm. If the snow, like for example, I once did a load up to Michigan, and I was dealing with the lake effect snow. It wasn't too heavy, but it was enough. And I had 43 in the box. And I was able to do about 48, 50 miles an hour and did okay with it. And then I got emptied out, and I got on the first cloverleaf, and it was not fun. And I realized that, man, and I got on the interstate, man, I cannot do more than 40. And so I found the nearest place to, to shut down. I shut down until it passed because, looking at the radar, I knew it was going to pass pretty soon. And it was a snow squall, I believe. And then same thing with Indiana. I was in Indiana and one time, and that was when that math was presented to me. It's like, look, if you can't, because here's the thinking: if you're doing like 35 miles an hour the whole time of your 14 hours, you're almost better off just to shut down, let them hit the roads, so you can average above 55 or 50 even, and then not waste your drive time. And it's not as white knuckled, and there's less risk that way. So that's kind of how I look at shutting down. That's my gauge. And your weight in your trailer is dependent on that as well. Obviously, if you're 15,000 pounds and it's a blizzard, that's not a good scenario. But if it's wet snow and it's like 31, 32, maybe 29, 43 in the box, you're going to be okay. But it's the other drivers you got to worry about as well at that point. So, you just got to be smart about it. And I think a lot of people are not being trained correctly. I think the automated trucks are part of that, and then I would think that a lot of the electronic gadgets that are in the truck is a big part of that as well, of why people can't seem to keep it on the road, and we got pileups after pileups when everybody should have been shut down. Not good, CDN. Do you have a fireplace or a natural way to stay warm? Mark Cook or Gary Cook, I'm not too far from you. The snow isn't supposed to be bad. That's good. Justin, good morning. Coming to you from the Thermo King dealer in Wausau, Wisconsin. Drive safe out there, everyone. Yeah, you guys are going to start seeing some negative 30s, I think, today, as far as wind chill goes up there. Quick hits in Orlando. Everybody's in Florida. Good deal. CV's in St. Augustine. Randy, 35 degrees heading west on I-10. Colder is coming. Yes, definitely. CB says Toga, average under 40,000, even trucks are the same. Average under 40 grand, even trucks are the same, used truck, trailer and truck. I think that I think that the prices aren't crashing like everybody thought in January. I think and new trailers are starting to come out, and they're not quite down where they should be yet. They're still about 3 or 4 grand higher than I would like them to be. Don Schunger, good morning. Ratman Roden. Protect your pool equipment. 9 degrees with snow this morning. Why am I laughing at that? Because anybody who's a friend and follows him on Facebook or LinkedIn saw that his part of his pool blew up. It was crazy. I hope you're okay. Hope it wasn't too expensive of a fix. But that's the kind of stuff I picture all the time. See, people don't care how they drive anymore. No responsibility. No one watches over their shoulder. And that's like yesterday coming home from church. I mean, it snowed while we were there. Like it snowed about an inch, and they hadn't treated the roads or nothing yet because of the cold. And man, the main arteries here were slick, and I was slipping and sliding a little bit. And but man, there were people driving like it's just a normal day. It's just like a little rainstorm, and I'm just like, man, you guys just literally don't have a clue. T-Bone says, who turned off the heat? Brr. You're probably up in Michigan, if I gather correctly. But is it really getting worse, Snorelord, or do things appear to be worse? That's a great question. I would want to know the statistics. There's the word I'm looking for. Of trucks that of minor truck accidents, if they've increased in the last 10 years during the wintertime. I don't know who keeps track of that. Acceleration rules. Lots of gelled up trucks on the side of the road. Yes, that's the other thing. Especially in like Missouri, we might hit negative temperatures like maybe once or twice a year, but not as this long. And it seems to be happening more frequently, that we're going like weeks worth of not like a full week of sub-zero temperatures versus just a day or two, once in January, once in February, kind of a deal. But yeah, if your truck's been sitting at home or sitting, here's the thing, and I have empathy for you guys that park your trucks at the truck stop for the weekend. And if you don't have an APU and you're in sub-zero temperatures, you weren't able to plug your truck in, don't even try. It's going to be bad. So, no freight is worth damaging the equipment and freight. It's not worth anyone's life. Absolutely, Gary. Absolutely. T-Bone says -7 with 30 wind chill below zero here in Michigan. Yep. You are definitely hurting. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Dan's hot shot. More government regulations and more drivers from countries that don't get snow would fix the issue with trucks jackknife, right? I do have a fireplace. Funny story is 30 minutes prior to my electric grid emergency alert, the house was cooling down. I found an error code on my furnace. It was a flame sensor issue. I took out the flame sensor rod, cleaned and sandpapered and furnace, started working normally again. House warmed up within 1 hour. Good luck getting a plumber to fix a furnace. 2 to 3 day wait list. Yes. We have a wood stove, but because I'm a horrible person, I have not had it looked at or inspected for, I don't know, since we've lived here. And back in 2009, we had a huge ice storm. Maybe it was 2008. We had a huge ice storm, and it knocked our power out for a week. And I thought, well, maybe I could start a fire, and it just wasn't working. I was horrible at starting fires back then. Was not prepared to do that. We ended up moving the whole family up to my mom's for the week, and I tried to stay in the house, but it was just too cold. So um, every summer we think about getting the fireplace inspected and cleaned out and all that, and we just have never. I've just have never made that phone call. So shame on me. So if our 2007, okay. If our power goes out, well, we've got a generator now, but I haven't set it up yet. So I'm a horrible person, and I feel bad about it every single day of my life. CD, and I put a whole home generator on the house when we bought it. Paid for itself the first year. 2 weeks, no power. Generac worked like a charm. In Edmonton, 5 days to wait for a tow, 2 to 3 days if you need a boost to start your frozen car. My neighbor told me yesterday his friend advertised on Facebook Marketplace. He did 50 cars times $30 each, $1,500. Wow. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. If you've got, like, you can buy one of them charger things that jumpstart vehicles that the tow truck guys use. I think they're like $200 or $300 or $400. Man, you can make some money if you can get around in a 4-wheel drive. Great idea. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that you don't. I mean, I think that if the power grid was an issue, that you did, again, we haven't had power grid issues. I think, we had a power outage Christmas Eve, which kind of sucked, but it wasn't terribly cold. We were under high record highs over Christmas. But yeah, I would definitely invest in a good generator that can at least power. You don't need to get the biggest one, but if you could get one that powers your furnace or some space heaters and your refrigerator and all that, so you don't lose all your food. Lots of batteries will self-destruct in this weather. Yes, battery companies are about to get rich. Tow truck companies are getting rich. And yeah, Desert Pam, good morning. Saw you sneak in here. So yeah, I mean this weather map looks pretty dumb. So, but these shades up here, going from like Panhandle of Texas all the way up to North and South Dakota, Wisconsin. I mean, you're looking at. Let's see. Let's go to the very tippy top of the border here. My internet is being slow. I'm not sure what changed. I don't know if my Wi-Fi card, I might need to buy a Wi-Fi extender because apparently we're just going to sit here and look like an idiot. There we go. Yeah, wind chill warning. We'll tell you what the temperature is going to be. They're at negative 14, negative 26 Celsius. The high is negative 4. They're not saying what the wind chills are going to be. Unless that was it up there. That was a waste of time. This is the first power issue other than summer when too many air conditioning units are being used. It is due to a change on how our province no longer stores power. They produce what we need. Yeah, they're not alone. Be careful. We get our fireplace checked every 2 years. Yes. And, my recliner is next to the wood stove, and I can hear something scratching in there, so that it definitely needs something, right? It definitely needs to. I don't need to be cooking any birds up there. So, lots of fireplace fires up here. Yeah, so I mean, we definitely that I don't know if our fan's even working on it. So it definitely needs some TLC. So this summer we have to get that taken care of, because there's going to be a day where we're going to need that thing. So, all righty. Also, it'd be nice to have it in addition to what our furnace does. So, all right. So let's move the screen here. So yeah, if you're out there in the weather, be careful. It's cold. Put your anti gel in there. My father, the meteorologist trucker. Thank you, Death Touch. Thank you. All right. So let's take a look at, speaking of meteorology, let's take a look at now, what's interesting to me is, and I haven't looked into it, but, CH is having their struggles, and then Coyote just did another round of layoffs. I believe Pale Rider was there talking about it. And during his live feed, in the chat, what I thought about the digital brokers going out, Uber's struggling as well. So brokerages are struggling as well. And so it really surprises me when I see decent volumes, because I figured they're all like they got no freight to move. Got to look into this internet thing. I don't know where we go. All right, I disappeared for a second. I've got. I will have here in All right, we're back. Shannon Thomas, trucking. Good morning. I was talking about you earlier. Here's what not to do. Some guy in the next neighborhood put a propane tank under his pickup truck to thaw out his truck. Oh, he went to check it, somehow loosened the nozzle on the propane tank. And maybe DAT just sucks. How about that? This is what I'm getting with that. Oh, now it's coming up, finally. Propane leaked out and there was an explosion. A house and truck on fire. Yeah, that's... People just don't think, man. They just don't think. All right, so here's the load ratios for DAT. You can probably get a good rate out of Arkansas today because of the snow and all that. So there's probably some capacity issues. Let's take a look at South Carolina's looking okay. Pennsylvania's got more out than in. Oklahoma's not as bad as it usually is. Ohio looks good. Some 4-digit numbers on here. Basically, Michigan looks really good. If you want to brave everything. So your states are, wow, look at Kentucky. Indiana, 2,000 loads coming out of Indiana. Illinois, 2174 going in, 2872 coming out. So if you want to ignore the weather, basically Illinois to Ohio and back probably makes some decent coin if you're into the short haul. New York has actually got more out than in. Let's take a look at the southern states. Let's take a look at Alabama. Alabama's not too bad. A lot of loads coming out, though. California, avoid. Colorado sucks. Connecticut sucks. Florida, not as bad as it normally is, but still bad enough. Jersey's not as high as it usually is. Now you'll see. Oh, look at. No. Now you'll see an uptick in some of these volumes in the spot market during this bad weather because a lot of these contract freights are like, you know what? Screw this, dude. Keep our trucks home. We'll put it on the spot if they can. Let's take a look at the 123 low board here. CDN says if your car truck battery's frozen, take it out, bring it into your house, and let it naturally thaw out. Do not force on thawing by putting a heater or anything. Unfortunately, you can't do that with the truck. Like I said, if you have to park your truck at a truck stop where you can't have the APU keep it up or plug it in, man, that's a bad deal. You're probably having a rough morning right now. All right, so there's Van. Other than California, it pretty much, in Texas, it pretty much reflects what the DAT is saying. Let's take a look at South Carolina, see what we got coming out. And again, it'll be interesting if everybody actually answers their emails or phones today, because I know that last Martin MLK Day, it sucked. So we got this sorted by age. That means I'm going to find the last minute postings. Not a whole lot of stuff for today. So there's a few things. $1.10 a mile to go to Beaumont, Texas. Some of these rates just want to sap your will to live. All right. Oh, did I say it out loud? I'm sorry. Let's do, let's sort this by highest rate. $3,600 to go to Las Vegas. No, thank you. $1.80 to go to Draper, Utah. Of course, again, all the weather. Nevada seems to be where everybody's trying to go. Still, you're not breaking $2. Here's Duncan, South Carolina to Loveland, but that doesn't pick up till Friday. So, this one ain't too bad. Topeka, Kansas, from North Charleston. Of course, it's not until Friday. By then, all the weather would be done. Oh, hazmat, of course. So, can't do that one. So, yeah. Got a fun day ahead of me. With Coyote, C.H. Robinson, plus other broker issues, where did that freight go? My phone is not ringing off the hook. The warehouses are full. They don't need it. Number one. Number two, I know a lot of carriers have picked a lot of that stuff up. Because and I predicted that because, okay. All right. I got to go. Later.